Okay, it looks like we're all here. So the minutes will show that the executive session was adjourned at 2:24. The public has been invited to return to the meeting, and we are now back in open session. Okay, so I will entertain some motions.
I make a motion that we direct Executive Director Binstock to summarily dismiss complaint number 25-001 for a lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
Second.
Okay, motion made, seconded. Any further? Oh, we can't discuss. Roll call vote.
That's you.
Well, you broke up there. I couldn't hear what you said.
David Anderson,
Aye.
Ron Goodman,
Aye.
Ward Kozer,
Aye.
Cynthia Lindquist,
Aye.
Murray Stagsby.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next motion.
What is the complaint number? I'm sorry.
25-002.
I move that I move that we summarily dismiss complaint numbers 25002 and give the executive director permission to take that action.
Do I have a second?
This is Murray, second.
Dave, can I add something to that motion?
Sure.
Ron, is it okay if we amend the motion to add for lack of personal and subject matter jurisdiction?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, let's add that.
Okay. Take the roll call vote.
Dave Anderson,
Aye.
Ron Goodman,
Aye.
Cynthia Lindquist,
Aye.
Ward Kozer,
Aye.
Murray Stagsby.
Aye.
Motion carried. I'll entertain the next motion.
This is Murray. I move to direct Executive Director Binstock to summarily dismiss complaint number 25-003 for a lack of subject matter jurisdiction.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Call the roll call vote, please.
Dave Anderson,
Aye.
Ron Goodman,
Aye.
Cynthia Lindquist,
Aye.
Ward Kozer,
Aye.
Murray Stagsby.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, having completed that work, next item on our list is discussion of advisory opinion request 25-01.
1 second, Dave. Okay, sorry, Dave. Discussion of advisory opinion request 2501. We talked about this, the commission talked about this at its last meeting, that it received this request on January 14th. We discussed it at the meeting on January 22nd. I had a phone call communicated with the requester on January 28th and did let him know that we would be providing a advisory opinion. I apologize. And then during that discussion, I did discuss the possibility of an extension. What we did is we followed up by letter because my conversation was just by phone. So we wanted to make sure that we had that memorialized. So on February 5th, General Counsel Carpenter sent a letter to the requester asking for an extension, and the requester very quickly agreed to an extension. And we decided on a date of May 30th. We think that is a sufficient but not too long of a time to issue that advisory opinion. I think that's it. It's just an update to the commission that we will get to work on that and have that to the commission before May 30th of 2025.
Okay. Next item, discussion of strategic plan.
Yes. So this is the big picture stuff with the North Dakota Ethics Commission. And so as we are coming up to the start of the 2025-2027 biennium, I'm bringing this up in the meeting today, and Dave has agreed to do that basically I am just asking for some very primitive initial thoughts on where the commission would like us to go in our strategic planning for the next biennium. The reason that I want to bring this up now in February and early February is because the last time we did a strategic plan, we didn't really implement it until a few months into that biennium. That was back in 2023. So we're just trying to be a little bit more thoughtful and proactive, and knowing that some of our strategic plan may be affected by legislation, by budget, or particular pieces of legislation that pass. But I really just wanted to have a time to initiate a discussion about the commissioner's priorities, goals, and what resources we have to help us give direction to kind of a preliminary document that we can prepare over the next few months as we approach the 2025-2027 biennium. So with that, I did provide for your review, which is attachment 19. This is the strategic initiative or strategic plan, strategic summary, whatever you want to call it, for the current biennium. We actually used this strategic plan and how we worked towards each of these goals and these initiatives. This is how we processed and articulated our budget testimony. When we talked about what accomplishments the commission had during the current or the previous biennium, we really focused on how did we meet each of these strategic initiatives. The one is education and outreach. 2 is relationships and communication, that we want to prioritize that. 3 is rules review and creation. That is how we ended up getting House Bill 1360. Strategic initiative 4 is creating a positive work culture. That's because we have staff members coming on board for the first time, and we had that during the last biennium. And then what we call meaningful enforcement, which is enforcing in a way, adopting rules and enforcing those in a way that are productive to the state citizens, further transparency, have accountability, but also are mindful of state resources and efficiencies that we have in our office. So I really just wanted to kind of offer this up as a time to get initial input. We'll take notes and build on the strategic initiatives that we currently have and get direction on what the commission wants us to do, wants us to prioritize.
Okay, so you're looking for us to kind of take a look, not provide comments today, but the next meeting, provide comments and any input that we might have?
Sure, or you can provide comments today too, Dave, and then we can kind of start working with those too. We just want to start having those discussions. If anybody has something that, they've been thinking about and said, yes, I want us to do this better. I want us to improve here. I want us to focus on this, etc.
Well, I think you guys done a
Dave,
great
this is-
job with the education part. Go ahead, Murray.
Dave, this is Murray. I'm thinking about the budget end of biennium dollars that we have, which is just a fraction of the total budget. But are there any plans for the strategic plan to have a face-to-face commission meeting that focus on strategic planning? Or will it be done online or during as a part of monthly meetings? I'm the new person here, so I don't know how this works with the commission.
Well, that's a good question. We haven't done that since we started. We did have face-to-face meetings and discussed our strategy and our goals. So we did that, but we haven't reconvened to do that. I'm open to that. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, we have dollars that we can, Murray, that we have included in the budget to do in person. And I think it'd be a good idea. But it's not my opinion or matters, but
Just to follow up that the legislate, everything that we're involved with will likely be completed at the end of April or the first week in May or something like that. And this is just a suggestion that sometime in May, that perhaps the commission get together to really focus on strategic planning issues to assess where we are after the legislation with the funds that we have, where can we go in the future with the strategic plan and with possible rules that could be considered or adopted. And that might be an all-day session someplace.
Why don't we try to do that in the month for our May meeting? That might be a good time. The weather should be nice by then.
Sounds optimistic there, Ward.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
I agree.
Yeah, I concur. That I think would be good. We'd be due for a in-person meeting altogether anyway.
Yep.
And related to that, assuming that or hoping that Senate Bill 2004 is passed with the FTE, how long will it take to advertise that position and select somebody to fill that position?
So Murray, last time we received an FTE from a legislature, we were able to bring both of them on in September. We also had to craft a job description after a legislative session because of the unique position that was created. We were expecting it to be an education person, not an attorney position, right? So we had to, there was some logistics that had to go into that. I think we'll be able to do it slightly faster this time from a background because all of the procedures with HRMS are in place that weren't there when we had to hire before. There had never been a hiring process that had been created for the commission. Like the positions needed to be created and all those sorts of things. But we can't have the person start before July 1. But we can post it in June. And I believe we posted Isha and Logan's positions I feel like we posted them in August. Or maybe it was July.
And
part of the reason, sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say part of the reason we had the delay last time was that session wrapped up and I had my tonsils out 3 days later and was out of the office for two weeks. So I don't plan on doing that again.
And
Go
this
for it.
this is an aside, but it last time we were in person and we had in person meetings with the prospective people. I'm sorry, I've got a ding on my other phone here. So I'd like to be able to do that. That maybe doesn't have much to do with the strategic plan, except to maybe say that if we are hiring somebody, the commissioners should meet in person if possible to do that.
Yeah,
I
but
think-
the hiring process would be internal. So Rebecca would handle it for us. I'm assuming we would just, you would just tell us, right? After the fact, or let us
No,
know.
I think last time we had Dave and
Yep.
Ron volunteer to sit in on the interviews.
Okay.
But you're right.
Just for the general counsel position. We did not do that with Alicia's position.
Yeah.
So I like when the commissioners are here as well. And I thought I liked that process a lot.
But I agree, Cindy, it's like, it is an internal process, so I wouldn't, we don't want to have all the commissioners together, so it now becomes a public meeting when we do this, so.
Well, that's
Volunteers
true.
to assist Rebecca, and if that works for the interview is great, but otherwise, this person is gonna work for our executive director.
And then do we have the May date set for our meeting? I can't find
21st.
it. I'm like,
May
did I-
21st.
May 21st?
But we can move that to accommodate scheduling for everybody to get here. I think I've heard that one of our staff members may or may not be here
In person.
in person.
Okay, I guess there's no reason to change it yet.
No.
Okay, anything else on the strategic plan? Okay, hearing none, then the next item, and I think, Logan, we want to break, but we're going to go into executive session. And
Dave,
Yep.
I'd like to postpone that until March so that I can consult with Logan to make sure that the motion to go into executive session strictly meets the statutory requirements.
okay. That works.
Did Ron have something he wanted to talk about?
Yes, I do, but I want to make sure I get it at the right spot.
Well, with that from Murray, we are now at the item for further business.
Okay. We've had some material in the media a little bit and in the legislature about our complaints and our not handling complaints, and that's not true. But I'm wondering if there's some way that we can inform the legislature and the public about our work aside from having a statement that we have not had any complaints that have been settled, or I don't know the word. Rebecca, do you know what I'm talking about?
Ron, I think so. I think what we have tried to do is have conversations about that. I also think providing statistics on a monthly basis about what we're getting in, that filing update that we're starting to do, I think that is helpful.
Yes.
I think we can also think of other ways. I'm sure we have not, reached capacity on how to communicate with the legislature and members of the public. I'm sure that we can find more creative and thoughtful ways to do that. And I think that that's a goal that we should have.
Okay, I just wanted to bring that up. And then another thing is, I do plan to come, I feel I should come to Bismarck at least once during the legislative session. So I'll talk to Rebecca or Alicia or Logan. I suppose I could talk to Pat about that too. But to feel, to decide when the best time would be. The only conflict I'll have would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Other than that, I'm pretty free.
Okay.
And I'd like to go back to Ron's first point relative to information and how we share it. My struggle when people ask me, what are you guys doing? And it's like, well, we're actually doing a lot. Look at the website. There's good stuff there, information and that. But when I get asked specifically about when we dismiss a complaint, maybe it's me, maybe I struggle with trying to explain, well, subject matter, her personal jurisdiction, so somehow can we better explain that, to the public? Because it's like, it doesn't belong under the North Dakota Ethics Commission because there's a vehicle over here, like if it's law enforcement or if it's judicial or whatever, that they have a process. So somehow if we can better articulate, and for me, it's more the public side, that aspect of our work. So particularly because as those case numbers or the number of filings, number of complaints seem to be going up, okay, and then we're summarily dismissing for these reasons or whatever, but can we try to do a better job of explaining in more simple language?
Yeah. Cindy, I think that's, yeah. Yes. Can we? Yes. We will work on figuring out how. Because I think that's a very valid point, and that's what we hear as well, which goes back to Ron's point.
Yeah. Thank you.
Dave, I have a question about House Bill 1360 and 1505. Rebecca, when will the committee again address that in a working session? Do you know?
We do not know, Murray. We can try and get a sense. Oh, do you want to?
We've been told that that specific committee, the Government Veterans Affairs Committee, has quite a few bills, more than other committees. And they only meet on Thursday, Friday. They're what they call a B committee. So they only have 2 days out of the week that they get to work. So we anticipate sometime soon, but we don't have an exact date.
Possibly Thursday or Friday of next week, right? Possibly.
Yes.
Maybe tomorrow too. We don't know for sure. They might even be discussing it right now. I don't know.
They don't necessarily give us, the legislators don't necessarily give us a heads up on when they're talking about a particular bill. We try to watch.
I think sometimes they don't know either until they're actually in the
Yeah.
committee, which particular bills. So we'll keep an eye out and let you know, Marie, if you hear anything.
Dave, I have a matter for further business that I wanted to bring up with the commission on a fun scheduling thing, and I had just heard back, so I wanted to, is it okay if I ask the commission?
Yes.
All right, so at the end of last year, the commission had discussed potentially hosting or holding a meeting up at the UND Law School in an effort to kind of get out education and outreach at the law school. And I had followed up with them. My follow-up was delayed. I'm not going to say that they were much quicker to respond. And their contact person followed up with me this morning, and I just saw the email before the meeting that they have quite a bit of opening, and if we'd have a date in mind. So if the commission would be interested in doing that, we could do it either in March or in April. But then obviously May, we already talked about coming to Bismarck and having potentially, and they'll also be in finals or out of school at that time. If this spring, March and April doesn't work for the commission, we can then go to the fall. We can then look at doing it there in September or October before while the roads are still nice and we can travel. So we head up to Cindy's neck of the woods up at UND. But if the commission is still interested in that, I can continue to, I can throw the dates for March and April and see if one of those works. But they have confirmed that they have the logistics, the AV equipment to be able to host us up there.
Well, I prefer
Well-
the fall because I think March and April is a little bit busy for you guys yet.
Yeah, that's still during the legislative session.
Yeah, that's my opinion too. And yes, I'm actually in Grand Forks, North Dakota now, so it'd be lovely to have everybody come to the law school here. But yeah, to me, it's like, nah, I think we gotta wait till fall.
Cindy needs
That's-
time to make the donuts. Right, Cindy?
But session's just too important, and there's just too many moving parts going on for us, and yeah. And I think they're looking for a new dean too, aren't they?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, we will tell them in the fall.
Pat, have you
Yeah.
thrown your hat into the ring to be a dean?
I'm unqualified. I don't have my GED.
Dave, that
Okay,
was my
anything
further.
else?
That's it.
Okay, that's good. I think that's still a great idea, but I'd like to kind of hold it in the fall instead of if you're looking at March and April, well, March, that's coming up too quick, I think. So let's look at the fall. But I fully support it. I think it's a great idea.
Okay. We will.
Although I'd have to take my vaccinations before I can get on the UND campus.
So one, which raises an issue that just a question more than anything. The NDSU has an ethics organization, right?
Yes.
And has there ever been any communication from that organization to hold a meeting at NDSU in conjunction with an ethics, one of their ethics meetings or programs?
So, there has never been a suggestion or communication to hold an ethics commission meeting in conjunction. But I think that they would be open to that, Murray. I think that we could similarly do that with NDSU. We do have communications the individual who heads that up is a professor named Dennis Cooley. And we do talk to him. In fact, I went to NDSU and spoke, was it last fall, with for the Northern Plains Ethics Institute. So so we could certainly reach out to him about doing that as well. I think that's another great
Well,
idea.
I'm only suggesting that as a, to make the Ethics Commission more visible around the state, as a suggestion.
Okay. We
Of
will
course,
look into it.
those are two events in the east. There's still a Western North Dakota, you know.
There is.
Yeah. Ward will think of something.
Yes. I'll bring the donuts.
Any other business? Anything else for the good of the order? Okay.
That's it from the Bismarck office, I believe.
All right. Hearing none. Thanks, everyone. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Take care.
Stay warm.